It's time for a collaboration.
First time we had to put up the satellite.
Welcome to Tree Talk of the Traveler. After watching this video, make sure you check out these channels and watch their versions.
This is a collaboration. Today's subject is internet.
RV internet. We've done a few videos on this, but you're going to want to watch this one.
Yeah, this one's very good.
Right? Because we're not only going to cover what we do for internet, we're also going to tell you 3 things you shouldn't buy or waste your money on.
Yeah, you don't want to lose money, do you?
Yeah, nobody wants to lose money.
Yeah, no.
Reminder, what we use for our internet, we're going to cover it in more detail in here, is we use a home internet. It's actually T-Mobile home internet. And we also use Starlink. And then we use a data off of our iPhones. And our iPhones are with AT&T. I think you're going to want to watch this video, especially the end. Save yourself some money. We've done a number of videos over internet, but internet, unfortunately, when you're an RVer, is something that's never done. You're always having to adapt and change as the services and technology change. And unfortunately, I'm learning that here today. Sitting here in Nashville, Tennessee, right on a lake, beautiful spot. And right before work, right before I started getting on video calls, after working all day yesterday, it's gone intermittent. It's either amazing speeds or it's none at all on T-Mobile. Part of one of the problems, probably some congestion, and now some air conditioning. Break in here for a little disclaimer, something you may have already known. One of the things we're using is T-Mobile home internet, and if you go look at the terms and condition and marketings for T-Mobile home internet as it's posted today, it says it's only to be used at your residence, fixed address. You can move it, but you have to call them before you do it. Now, we bought our home internet right after they changed those terms and conditions and advertised that you could now use it mobily. And in fact, I talked to the salesperson. They said, absolutely, use it mobily. You can use it in your RV. That's what it's for. I told them that's exactly what I was getting it for, nothing else. Then a month or two later, they went in, they changed their terms and said, we really didn't mean that. But I'd already purchased it. That's what I purchased it for. And that's how I'm going to use it. You have to decide for yourself on that, and I would never advise anyone to violate the terms of service of any agreement they sign. But when I acquired T-Mobile home internet, it was represented. I could use it in my RV, so that's what I do. As of now, they haven't turned it off. I'll keep using it. If they ever turn it off, then I'm returning the unit, and I'm canceling the program. Working from here has been really nice. Beautiful views. But it's definitely proved that you need the 3 systems. When we got here, our T-Mobile system worked terrific. We had great speeds. Nothing can go wrong. Every now and then, it cuts out. And I just can't have that when I'm on work phones. Didn't have time to put the Starlink up the other day when this happened right before we started a real important video call. So I went to the AT&T phone. It was ready to go. I had my Starlink paused. So it was the first time for me experimenting unpausing it and how long it took. It took about 25 minutes after I paused it before Starlink was up and ready to go. But since it's been up and ready to go, it's worked flawlessly. I've been doing everything with Starlink. I do have a video up to teach you how to make this storage box. Great way to carry your Starlink, so it's never a problem. So really in this situation, though we have good T-Mobile reception, it seems that every now and then it gets deprioritized and it just becomes unusable. When it is usable, it's terrific. It's like super fast, but then it'll just throttle down to almost nothing randomly throughout the day. And I just can't have that for work. So right now the Starlink is what's doing better. Now, I've had the exact same problem with Starlink before when T-Mobile didn't. So it's just, whichever is working better. Between the 3, one almost always works. At this location, I can buy Wi-Fi. They actually have it, but I don't want to pay for it. I'm already paying for these. Speaking of price, there's a few things to take care of. When I did a video a while back comparing T-Mobile, AT&T, and Starlink was $135 a month. It's now going up to $150. You can actually pay $200 a month, they're saying, in the very near future and use it on different continents, but I really don't have a need for that. So for me, $150 a month. I can still pause it, which makes it still a viable option for me. I only turn it on when I really, really need it. And to be honest, in circumstances like this week, when I'm working from this beautiful spot, and I need it for the internet, it's worth it. I turned it on. Now I have it for a month because I just turn it off immediately. That means I get 1 month of service. I just keep using it. If I need it next month, I'll turn it on again. If not, I'm back to the T-Mobile, $50 a month, which I pay every month no matter what, and my AT&T, which I basically get for free with my cell phone service. So it works for us. You've heard me mention during this video that my tertiary, my third backup, is using an iPhone. Now, this is an old iPhone. It's all cracked and beat up, but it works. And my wife updated to a newer phone a couple years ago. But I was able to keep the service on this one, and it actually lowered my bill because we hit the multi-phone plan by doing so. Now, with most carriers, ours is AT&T, but it's very similar with other carriers, you get a hotspot. And the hotspot on this one is 50 gigabytes that you can use without any throttling or anything. So 50 gigabytes of data. That's a lot, but it's not enough for what we do. So this is my last resort because I don't want to use it. Now, if it's all I have, it's the only thing working, I would never use it to watch TV. But one of the things that you can do is the phone itself, when not used as a hotspot, is truly unlimited data. So you can actually pull up the video and watch it on the phone and mirror it to your TV through a Fire Stick or through your Apple TV. We use Apple TV and Fire Stick on this TV. And then you're not using that towards your data limit, and it works really well that way. Otherwise, you know, this is our tertiary. Our phones that we actually carry with us all the time, this one just for the camper, for this purpose, they also have 50 gigabytes on them. So really, we could pull, we got a family of 4 and an extra phone, 5 phones. We could pull 5 phones at 50 gigabytes. That would get us through almost any situation. So not really worried about it, but that's how we use the iPhone. Now for the 3 things I recommend you don't waste your money on as we hear sirens. Never get a break. And we're going to cover number 1, which is a Wi-Fi repeater, which is this little router right here I have behind my TV. That's why I have my TV out so you can take a look at it. And while we actually use this quite a bit, we use it as a home router, and it does work for extending Wi-Fi signal. The reason I recommend you not get one is 9 times out of 10, if you're an RV campground, any signal you'd be extending from that campground is worthless. It can extend the signals. If it's a worthless signal, you're just extending a worthless signal, and it's really not worth it. So when is it good? Well, some places have decent Wi-Fi. We've actually picked up Wi-Fi from a Domino's once. It worked really well, but it's pretty rare. The other way it works for us is we actually use it as a router. All our devices are set up to immediately connect to this Wi-Fi router. And then that way, when I use my 3 sources of internet, they're all set up with the same name and the same password. So they automatically connect to this Wi-Fi router. And that way, we never have to reset any devices or anything when we change, whether we're on Starlink or T-Mobile or using our iPhone. They all immediately connect to this. All our devices, our laptops, our tablets, our printers automatically connect, and everything works flawless. The second thing I recommend you don't waste your money on, and this one's really kind of a don't do it. There's no good reason to do it. It's a total waste of money, and that is a cell phone booster. Now, ours is actually wired up right here in this little dark cabinet to where you can easily hook it up, has an antenna on the roof, and does it boost cell phone signal? Yes, but not very well, and it's very clumsy. You have to be right on top of the antenna, and this equipment is outdated. It doesn't work with the newer towers, the newer signals. None of the units out there do. And even if you get one, it'll probably be outdated before you get enough use out of it. It's just not worth your money. It's more of a frustration. And quite frankly, we get great signal with units like this T-Mobile home internet without such devices. And just don't recommend you buy it. The third thing I recommend you not waste your money on is what I call a third-party cellular of carrier coverage. A lot of carriers won't sell unlimited data, not truly unlimited data in a hotspot. What they actually sell, if you buy it from AT&T or Verizon or other, unless you're getting the home version, back here, unless you're getting the home version, what you're actually buying is 50, 60, maybe 100 gigabytes, and then it throttles. depending on what you're paying. And that throttling can make it just completely worthless. So third-party carriers, they buy from the carrier and then they'll sell you, because they pull it together, unlimited data. The reason I wouldn't get these is either they're really expensive or they use outdated equipment. Now, we had travel data, and I swore by it. We were able to watch televisions while the kids were on video for school, and I was on video for work, and it did a great job. But as time went on and technology changed, the unit the travel data people had wouldn't work on the towers anymore. Their customer service went downhill. You couldn't get them on the phone. They wouldn't help. You had to use it like a text service only. And quite frankly, they wouldn't respond with anything helpful. And they kept upping the price. And what I learned is, it's just not worth it. It's just a headache. And you're never getting the speeds you could with the newer equipment that you get from people outside of those third-party carriers. So when it comes to third-party carriers, those are secondary sellers of cell phone coverage, not directly from Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T, but through someone like Travel Data. I just don't recommend you waste your money that way. Those programs can also terminate immediately with little to no warning. So it is a buyer beware. Don't waste your money. I think that what I've recommended in the beginning of this video is far superior.
So make sure to watch the other collaborations and the prequel.
The prequel? All right, I guess.
Sorry, I'm tired.
What's the other collaboration?